Hi, Mr. Devlin here, and today I want to talk about my concerns about Battlefield 2018, or whatever it's going to be called. As we all know, the debacle about Battlefront 2 that's obviously just been released, and everyone's worried about the direction that AAA games are going, the price we pay, what's included, and what we have to pay extra for microtransactions and the aspects of play to win in new AAA games. And it being DICE, the developer of my favourite franchise, Battlefield, I'm a little worried, to say the least. As we all know, DICE EA have disabled the microtransactions for the time being in Battlefront 2. However, I can't help but feel that was because Disney itself got involved about their own IP that forced EA to do this. And I actually don't think it's DICE. I think they're under instructions from EA, and I think EA are treading on really thin ice. Obviously, they've had some problems in the past where they tried to do certain things and it's not gone down well with people who buy their games. However, I'm not worried about Battlefront. I'm worried about my Battlefield franchise. I actually purchased the last Battlefront game and it was quite a disappointment. However, it did get better over time, but it should have been done correctly initially when the game was released. There was pretty much no content for the amount of money that people were paying for the game. This version I didn't buy. I played the beta and I did do a video. I quite enjoyed it, but when I found out about the microtransactions and, like I said previously, the pay to win aspects of the game, I didn't buy it. I know a couple of my friends have bought it, but the majority of the Restless natives didn't buy it. Now that's telling you something, seeing as we all had a great laugh playing the beta. We all enjoyed it, and I initially thought I was going to buy the game. I didn't buy the game because, as everyone knows, the microtransactions are an absolute disgrace, to be honest, and I'm glad they've been pulled. What's worrying is they'll probably come back again. In what form, I don't know, but EA has said for the time being, which means obviously they're going to come back in some sort of iteration, and that's worrying me for Battlefield 2018. So what's actually going to worry me about the new Battlefield? Well, as I've been talking, the microtransactions, I've got a horrible feeling that Battlefield 2018, whatever it's going to be called, is going to go in that direction. Wrong. And I've said before, previously, in a previous video I did a few months ago, I actually don't mind paying for a premium pass. What I do mind is the amount of money that they charge for it. I actually put a figure of about 15 UK pounds that I would gladly pay for a season pass. Then everyone, if they paid the extra, can get all the extra maps. And obviously, if there's any free maps dropped along the way, £15 doesn't seem a lot to be giving the odd map away. However, I think a lot more people would buy it if it was just that small amount. I would be quite happy if I wanted a new skin to buy microtransactions. If I wanted, for argument's sake, a skin for a tank or a gun or whatever, I would be happy to pay, for argument's sake, £1, £2 if I really wanted that skin. However, I've got a horrible, horrible feeling that Battlefield 2018 is going to go down the microtransactions route, and not just for skins, not just for cosmetics. It's going to be another pay to win. And I think because they've got time, they have got time to think about it, and they will do it in a sly, snidey way. And this is really worrying me, because I don't want to come to a point where I'm not going to buy the next Battlefield game after years and years and years of playing this franchise. Don't get me wrong, I totally agree, and I understand that companies such as EA have to make money. Then don't charge as much for a AAA game when it's not a AAA game, because a AAA game would feature all the content. Titanfall 2 did it. Tom Clancy Rainbow Six Siege, that does it. So why EA at the moment going down the microtransactions lane. It doesn't seem right. It's as if the people who are buying your game are getting ripped off, and it's not good. People are going to start drifting away. Hell, I even bought the last Call of Duty. Didn't like it, but I still bought it because I'm actually worried about the direction that Battlefield is going to go. Fingers crossed it doesn't go that way, and fingers crossed it's going to be another beautiful, fantastic game, which I think it will, because the one thing that you can always count on from DICE is fantastic graphics and sound, and obviously a great game overall. Obviously there has been problems in the past. Battlefield 1 had a great start to its game, whereas Battlefield 4 was pretty much a disaster. However, let's keep it as Battlefield. Let's give people, either charge them a small amount for a season pass, and maybe give everyone the maps. That's what we all want. A lot of people would be happy to pay for microtransactions for cosmetic things only, and it's time DICE/EA started listening to their customer base. And it's just not just them, because we know the bigger YouTubers probably get all these games for free, and they're saying exactly the same thing. However, I think one or two of them go over the top, but everyone is saying it now, and look what's happened to an obviously superb game, Battlefront 2. Look what's happened, and even your shares are going down. There's obviously an issue, and it's an issue that needs to be addressed before the release of Battlefield 2018. Also, I have to say this, there is some of the bigger YouTubers, one or two, that have turned seriously into EA bitches. You need to grow a set of balls. Stand up and say, look, the customers are not liking what direction the game and certain franchises are going that EA have a hold of. Grow a set of balls. Stand up. Yes, we know you probably get all these things off EA or DICE or whatever, but people can see through you. We get the fact that you say, oh yes, I don't particularly like this about what they're doing with microtransactions, and then in the next video you're supporting them and saying everything's okay, and you've got a big hard on because they've stopped the microtransactions, even though you know it's going to come back. Like I said, I understand that these big companies have got to listen to their shareholders, and they've got to make money. I understand that, but you're doing it totally in the wrong way. And for some of the bigger YouTubers that are sponsored by EA/DICE are just being their bitches, and they know it. And like I say, I honestly don't think it's DICE as a developer. I think it's EA as the publisher that the problem lies. But Disney has just stepped on your bollocks, boys, and told you they're not going to have you ruining their franchise, Star Wars, obviously. So that's pretty much the reasons, and it's probably just one reason, to be honest, that I'm worried about the way my beloved franchise of Battlefield is going. Anyway, I'm going to have to get off. Don't forget to like, subscribe, press the bell icon, tick it so you get notifications. Don't forget, any like or subscription helps us out. We're getting there. It's slowed down a wee bit. We are not even at 50 subscribers at the moment, and it'd help us out an awful lot. Anyway, this is Mr. Devlin, out.